Chapter 18, Cambridge Life and Letters, 1850 to 1851. It was my privilege at Cambridge to live in a house where at 8 o'clock every person, from the servant to the master, would have been found for half an hour in prayer and meditation in his or her chamber. As regularly as the time came round that was done, we as Pa took of our meals at appointed hours. If that were the rule in all households, it would be a grand thing for us. In the old Puritanic times, a servant would as often answer one who inquired for him, "Sir, my master is at prayers," as he would nowadays reply, "My master is engaged." It was then looked upon as a recognized fact that Christian men did meditate and study the word and pray, and society respected the interval set apart for devotion. It is said that in the days of Cromwell, if you had walked down Cheapside at a certain hour in the morning, you would have seen the blinds down at every house. Alas! Where will you find such streets nowadays? I fear that what was once the rule is now the exception. When I joined the Baptist Church at Cambridge, one of the most respectable churches that can be found in the world, one of the most generous, one of the most intelligent, this was a good many years ago, when I was young, nobody spoke to me. On the Lord's Day, I sat at the communion table in a certain pew. There was one gentleman in it, and when the service was over, I said to him, "I hope you are quite well, sir." He said, "You have the advantage of me." I answered, "I don't think I have, for you and I are brothers." "I don't quite know what you mean," said he. "Well," I replied, "when I took the bread and wine just now in a token of our being one in Christ, I meant it. Did not you?" We were by that time in the street. He put both his hands on my shoulders, was about 16 years old then, and he said, "Oh, sweet simplicity." Then he added, "You are quite right, my dear brother, you are quite right. Come into tea with me. I am afraid I should not have spoken to you if you had not first addressed me." I went to tea with him that evening, and when I left, he asked me to go again the next Lord's Day. So I went, and that Sabbath day he said to me, "You will come here every Sunday evening, won't you?" That dear friend used to walk with me into the villages when I afterwards went out to preach, and he remains to this day one of the truest Christian friends I have, and often have we looked back and laughed at the fact that I should have dared to assume that Christian fellowship was really a truth. I remember that he said to me at that time, "I am rather glad you spoke to me, for if you had gone to some of our deacons, I'm afraid you would not have received quite as friendly a reply as I have given you." In August 1850, C.H.Spurgeon went to Cambridge to assist his old tutor, Mr.LEEDING, who was conducting a private school in the university town. On page 44, Mr. Spurgeon has recorded his recollections of Mr. Leeding. The following is the tutor's account of his pupil, as furnished by him to Mr. Spurgeon for this autobiography in March 1890. My acquaintance with the Reverend Charles Haddon Spurgeon commenced in 1845, when I was engaged by Henry Lewis, Esquire, of Colchester, having just passed the degree of examination at St. John's College, Cambridge. I was to conduct his school for boarders and day pupils, and it was agreed that the course of studies should be designed to ground and advance them in the course of a first-class education. Besides the usual English subjects, some began Latin and French. Spurgeon began Latin at this time. We worked together for 4 years, and left at the same time, he to proceed to another school at Maidstone, and myself, who left merely because the terms of the increase of my salary were said to absorb all the profit, to return home to Cambridge, where some friends desired that I should remain and conduct a school of my own, several pupils being ready for me. Spurgeon had made good progress with me at Colchester in mathematical studies. He was far ahead of the rest, and generally took the first prize in the general examination. Before I had been many months at Cambridge, I received a letter from his father, begging me to take him as an assistant with no salary, but only to receive such help in his studies as would contribute to qualify him for public life. Mr. Spurgeon had preserved among his papers Mr. Leeding's reply to his father's letter. It was as follows: Academy, Union Road, Cambridge, August the 6th, 1850. My dear Sir, I hasten to reply to your most welcome letter, which I received this morning. I have more than once wished it possible that an arrangement could be made for securing your son's services in the event of an increase in my school, but my partial success has appeared to me a bar to such an engagement. For I have such an estimate of him that I could never have started the proposal on such terms as have proceeded from you. I will readily engage to give him all the assistance in my power for the prosecution of his own studies and his board and washing in return for his assistance. You do me an honour that I am perhaps unworthy of in making this proposition when you have a premium at your option. But I must say that you could not send him to anyone who feels so great an interest in and affection for him, nor to a situation where he could possibly have better opportunities for improving himself. You may, with Mrs. S., rest assured of his domestic comfort, as I am sure he will himself anticipate. I am unwilling to pledge myself at present to an engagement that shall bind me to give a salary hereafter. I am sure we cannot differ in that particular when once it necessarily occurs. Your offer, coming to me at this particular juncture, is a striking interposition of the providence of God on my behalf. Through a violent cold, I have for the last fortnight been suffering from inflammation on the chest, which has rendered so much speaking extremely painful, and now at length very dangerous, so much so that I have been on the point of applying to a person in the town for his assistance. You will at once see how acceptable Charles's presence will be to me now. It will be doing me a great kindness if he can be allowed to set out as soon as possible. I will expect him on Thursday. If you intended him to travel by 3rd class, I will gladly pay his fare from London by 2nd, and also any expense of carriage on any part of his luggage that may require to be sent after him. With many thanks for your united Christian regards and kindness, I am, dear Sir, yours faithfully, E.S. Leeding.